Hey everybody, it's Bus, continuing our playthrough of the Path of Champions. Today, we're taking on a 3-star quest, the Collector of Souls, going up to battle against Thresh with our 2-star Teemo. If you're not familiar with our Teemo strategy, we do have him up to 2 stars. We get the +1 starting mana. When we pop a Puff Cap, we get a Poison Dart. That Poison Dart has Burst. And then the big build-around aspect of the deck is the Armed and Ready. When allies attack, we put 5 Poison Puff Caps on random cards in the opposing deck. We look to build around the Armed and Ready with our Teemo's Relics, the Gale Force being the big one, giving Teemo Scout. So we attack with Teemo, get 5 Puff Caps from the ability, 5 Puff Caps from the Nexus Strike. We attack again, get the flip, this time from the Star Power. And then Teemo starts getting the double Poison Puff Cap hits. So we're able to start getting those double hits in, starting on the first turn of the game. The other big combo that we look to chase after is utilizing this Recall Me at the end of the round. And so normally that would be a disadvantage, but with Teemo costing 1 mana, and then the Lost Chapter giving us 3 mana back on Summon, we can play Teemo every turn of the game for +2 net mana, assuming that we can spend that mana on the spells. And so, in terms of the Teemo deck in general, the units are all pretty terrible. Chumpwump, Lecturing Yordle, and Ava Achiever are all cards we look to cut out of our deck, and then the removal is not that good. The Stress Defense is our core removal spell, basically turning a big attack into a single point of damage, and then the Subfumes tends to find itself fairly useless. And so the big things we look for in each battle are a way to just unconditionally remove an opposing unit, whether or not that is something like a Vengeance or a Recall or a Crumble, don't care what. And then we otherwise try to keep our curve pretty low since the top end is already pretty well lined up. And so that's the strategy in terms of deck building. We have one more strategy we take at hand as the battle begins. The core thing that we're going to see in every single game is that we must draw Teemo. If we don't draw Teemo, we can't win the game. He is just the full-on cornerstone of everything that we're doing. Now, it turns out one of the absolute best starting powers we can have is the draw 2 cards at the beginning of the game. And so what we're going to do is pull up these powers as normal. Just go ahead and retire the run. See ya. I thought I wanted to battle you, Thresh, but it's too scary out here in the Shadowlands. And then we'll jump back into the adventure and pick up that +2 card draw from the start. Right back in. Here we go. Oh no, we have to get the bad ones. The bad powers, right? Game start, draw 2. Perfect. Our game plan is very flexible. So, the first enemy here, the Swarm Tactics. When the foe attacks, they summon an ephemeral attacking arachnoid horror. Scary stuff. Very Halloween-y today. As you're watching this, it could be Halloween for you. It's quite close as it is for me. It's just a few days away. But with this hand, we look at it, we say, hey, are any of these cards Teemo? No, they are not, so we will take a mulligan. Look for him, and there he is. Teemo has been found. The game can be won. So get right in there, my dude. Give me those spell manas. I appreciate it. Vile Feast. Aw, that's a real bummer. maybe we should have stopped to worry about that one a little bit. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but you know, it's kind of sucks. Well, we'll at least kill a unit. See if we can't get a little bit more activity with our Puff Cap Pups and our Peddlers. Soul Spinner on board, that's fine. If we're wanting to Subfume something, I think this is okay. We'll just end up taking 4 damage on the round. He'll get the Soul Spinner back next turn, but this does at least prevent some damage for the current turn. I wonder if it ever counts as ephemeral. Oh, the Soul Spinner has too much health. Okay, I was like, man, I wonder if we get a freebie here with the ephemeral coming back and then immediately dying. All right, but we'll take down the big boy where we can. We got a free Poison Dart now. I think we'll take down the Spiderling. We're not going to be in the space to where we can shut him down from attacking, and so I'll leave the Hapless Aristocrat up. I don't entirely know the contents of this deck, but if it's got some kind of spider-based card, like a Brood Awakening, then I'd prefer the Hapless Aristocrat to be a little bit stronger. So here, I don't think we're going to get too much opportunity to add more cards to the board, but we'll try. We'll play the Puff Cat Pup. That'll let us come in with the Conchologist. Turns out we did get that opportunity. Bouncing Bomb should be okay here. Let us kill 2 1-health units. Let's see what we can do. Just prevent where we can. See how much more challenging this is when you don't have a Teemo? Life can be pretty hard. Should have maybe kept that in mind and not ran just directly into the Vile Feasts, but it's okay. I think our strategy is still good. Alright, let's keep some of these puff caps going. We can get a puff cap pup. He should be able to pretty safely attack. Here's the Brood Awakening we were worried about. We can get a puff cap peddler down as well. And then after combat, we can look to poison dart one of these remaining dudes. Got him. Alright, he gets his units back. We're ready with a stress defense here if we want. Otherwise, we're just taking 4 damage. And it's probably not worth it on a 1. We could do it like this. Stress defense to the left. We don't have that much left to go on here, and so why not take it down? Save the puff cap pup. Now, hopefully, we don't have very many puff caps in the deck, but hopefully we can just close out with the Ava Achievers now, since they double and then double again. Got him for 8. Not a bad start. Ava Achiever number 2. Alright, this is close to lethal. Instead, take him down to 1. Alright. I ain't scared anymore. Look at that. I'm not even going to play my cards. I'm just going to pass it. I'm going to say I believe in the puff caps just enough to get the job done. And there they do it. Get him for 12. Would have been much easier with Teemo. It's okay, though. I'm not that scared of the spiders. So what do we got? Anything useful? I'm not super interested in any of these. Like, the Avalanche could be okay. We have, we return Teemo to our hand every turn, so we can't get it back down, but opposing units tend to be too big for this. Same kind of deal with Brood Awakening. That's fairly easy to cast with Teemo, but I don't think we need that much blocking. Let's just re-roll, see if we can't find better spells. Go Hard's kind of interesting. It's a cheap removal with a drain. I think we can potentially look to build around Go Hard. I know that it doesn't kill much, but with like 1 item or a bit of card draw, we can really pop off with it. In terms of the cards here, I would like to find some unconditional removal, especially since we just took the Go Hard. So let's roll, see if we can't find something a little bit better. Nami's not doing it, Echo's not doing it, Zerath not doing it. We'll spend the last reroll. And we didn't quite get there. So the Brood Awakening could have been kind of interesting if we took that last one, since Elise just turned up, but that wasn't the path we took. I'm leaning towards the Fangs pile. It's like, I know we're never going to play Aurelian Soul, and we have a fair amount of expensive stuff as it is, but there's just so much heal coming from the Fangs and from the Star Shaping. I think that will be okay. So onto this next set, we have a Smooth Soloist. This lets us pick a relic. We have a slot bot, which lets us buy rerolls, or a shop. I don't feel like we have enough money for the shop, and so I'm going to go towards the Smooth Soloist down here at the bottom. So the Stalking Wolf, you give the player's strongest ally vulnerable. Round start, that happens. I ain't scared. So you're going to give my Teemo vulnerable? He's just going to return back to hand. Alright, so we'll take the full mulligan. There's the Teemo, beautiful. Hopefully he doesn't just get boomed right on the first turn. See if opponent leads off with their Stalking Wolf. Nope. Okay. Back to hand it is. So we can be a little bit more clever this turn. We'll start off with the Conchologist. Not super interested in any of these cards. I guess the Stand Together's okay. See if he plays any Duders. Look at that. Everything he has just trying to take down our Teemo. Not the nicest opponent I've ever encountered. But we'll drop a Go Hard. Maybe Teemo's safe now? No! Okay, just a brittle steel. We can deal with the brittle steel. I was afraid that was a removal spell. There we go, the stand together turning out to be quite useful. Teemo's attack power doesn't matter very frequently, as long as he has 1. The difference between 0 and 1 is astronomical. All right, good stuff. Now, one thing to kind of keep in mind with Teemo, even if he is frostbitten, we can still attack, right? We have that ability that puts puff caps into the opposing deck, and so a lot of times it'll still be useful even if we're at 0. Okay, Bull Elnick comes in. I think we could risk a Teemo, but the Chump Wump has become upgraded, and he has the bonus item now. I think we probably just get a full shutdown this turn if we play the Chump. Think wrong, but he's a big boy these days. I think he's officially better than the Lecturing Yordle, now that he has the dragon attachment. Alright, so Teemo in. Let's go ahead and spend all this spell mana. No! No! Not very nice, dude. This is meanest opponent 2022. Just abusing our Teemo.
There's a scent in the air.
And a marksman. Okay.
Gotcha.
I don't think we care. You know, let's just go ahead and attack with the Chump Wump. If he gets the kill on the big one, I think it's okay.
There won't be a warning shot.
And the battles continue. Overdrew the Conchologist. I was a little worried about an overdraw eventually hitting us, but it's not that big of a deal. I would like to cast Star Shaping, if nothing else, just to make sure we get a bit of heal before it's all said and done. So I'm not going to drop our Mushroom Clouds just yet. I don't want opponent to die right now. I prefer they die a little bit later. Only 2. Sounds good. We can add in the Lecturing Yordle. I don't know if we'll ever completely come in for an attack this turn. Might have a shot. No. Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll get to cast the Star Shaping. I don't think we've overreached. I don't think we've gone too far. Depends on the amount of butt cheek squeezing the opponent's doing right now. Looks like we're okay. We might even get up to round 10 in this battle. Who knows? Just drop the Aurelian Soul. Right, here goes a go hard. A little bit of heal. And I think we're good from this point forward. Pick up the Immortal Fire, go ahead and drop all these Mushroom Clouds. Hopefully he doesn't just drop another unit we could have killed with the Sump Fumes, but you know, it seems like we're kind of safe to get our units in now. The Fangs for a little bit more heal, or just go for the end. Let's just go ahead and try and end it. We're pretty close to healthy. So the big bird takes him to 1. Poison Dart takes him to 0. GG Stalking Wolf. Got him real good. Alright, anything cool? Not really. I mean, I guess we can add in more Chump Wumps. It's like, I just worry about adding these expensive cards to our deck. He was clearly better than he used to be now that he has the 5/5 stats, but I just don't think the Overwhelm was ever that relevant. But the Spacey Sketcher scares me. Like, I know if we take the Spacey Sketcher, we're just going to attack and nab and take a bunch of damage. Like, I know that we should be able to just say, "Here, bust, just don't fucking attack with it." But I know in the back of my head I'm going to get distracted and I'm going to do it. So I'm going to just pick up the Chump Wump here, even though we don't really want it, because I don't trust myself. So what do we got here? Very powerful one here to hold them off. The round start, Frostbite the strongest enemy. It just is a lot of times we just get ourselves into these damage races with Teemo. And if we can shut off their most powerful unit, we have a lot of opportunity to just stall for Teemo to get a couple more extra attacks in. So, up against the Poros, when one of the foe's Poros dies, the foe creates a copy of it in deck and grants copies of it everywhere, +1/+1. And so it doesn't boost all of the Poros, just that singular copy. So the Daring Poro boosts the Darings, the Fearsome Poros boost the Fearsomes, etc. Uh-oh, no Teemos. 3 more draws for the first turn, though. Missed. Boo. What are we gonna do here? I mean, we have a go hard for the nimble. Alright, I guess. Try and get rid of it. Just let everyone grow. Okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure I read that right and remembered this right. He's got, the augmented has the studded leather, so he's just a 2/2 on his own. Gotcha. And there's our boy. Okay, I was a little worried you weren't gonna turn up, but you're here at the end of the day. Pick up a stress defense. Get just our best defensive kind of card. Shut down all of our opponent's big attacks. Teemo can come in now. Not worried about removal spells coming out of this opposing deck. We can Sump Fumes the Poro Herder. He's not going to give any more bonuses to the units. And I'm going to attack with everybody here. If he's only going to have 1 Poro on board, we'll get it Frostbitten next turn. You got your Poros, I got my Yordles. Let's see who's victorious in the end. Alright, a little bit of puff cap damage coming through. He's drawing all these extra cards, taking some extra puff caps. I'm on board with that. Let's go ahead and double Poison Dart. Now we can play Teemo, get some of that mana back. He's got an augmented already. I don't know about that, dude. That's kind of sketchy. Another one. All right. We got 10 points of heal in hand. Let's just go ahead and stop there. I don't suspect our Teemo's gonna die, but it's a little risky if we just give up on him now. So where's opponent at? He's got 37. Not gonna be close enough to lethal next turn. So let's try and just get a little bit of board. Alright, didn't make good use of that spell mana, but, you know, that's a little bit of the downside with some of these, you know, stress defense not being something we want to actively cast right here. I do wanted to get the Peddler on board. If we wanted to just play Star Shaping, then we couldn't get any units down. So, I'm okay with this. Oh, you just dead, son. Maybe we will be close enough. Ooh, that's good, too, because he's going to open with this Poro Snack. Oh, not today, though, friend. Ripperino. Got him real good. GG. All right, moving on. Well, not the greatest set of cards. Suit Up is good if your Teemo is going to be sticking around, right? If you have the opportunity to make a 4/4 Teemo, it's not that bad, but it's not going to be particularly strong here. I think we're just stuck with the Spell Thief. It's not very good, but at least starts in our opening hand, so we don't have to draw a bunch of them later, and it may do something. I don't know. Like, we barely have dragons in our deck. I guess we have the Dragonated Chumpwump, but not really what I'm looking to go after. So here we don't have enough mana to really go to a shop, so we'll just hit up the spells chest. Hopefully it's something cool. We don't have to take anything. We can just leave. And this looks like a leave. The might does start in our opening hand, but I don't really want to risk drawing the additional copies. So we'll let that go. Hit up the healer. We have plenty of health, so I'm going to cut a card. Come down here to expensive land, and we'll get rid of the lecturing Yordle now. All right, on to Tryndamere. So each round, the first time the foe's unit would die, grant it tough, overwhelm, and fearsome instead. You become a Tryndamere. You become a Tryndamere. So many Tryndameres. To the best of my recollection, the only card ever essentially banned in Expedition was Tryndamere. He was also nerfed and constructed due to him being too good in Expedition. Not too many cards that can say that. Alright, let's start doing elusive stuff. This one's basically just going to be a big damage race, right? We're not going to win combats against these. We can barely win combats as it is. We're not winning combats against these Scarthanes that are going to be flipping and everything. And so, let's just go ahead and rush in the Teemo damage. We'll take as little as we can and just kind of count on the stress defenses and everything to mitigate enough damage. All right, in with the Puffcap Pups. No intention to block, but he's on board. Start sending damage right to the face place. Can add in Teemo, but we're not going to gain any mana off of this one. Takes us to 20. The turn is over. Poison darts coming in. Nice. Alright, take a heal. I don't really want any of these. I'll go with the big elusive. I don't feel like we're going to get the mana to ever come in and actually cast a Great Beyond, but the other cards were going to be pretty dead as well. I guess we could have taken the big, the Cosmic Inspiration. Potentially boosted our Teemo for a turn or something. But here comes a big set of Puffcaps. We probably won't get the kill on the upcoming turn, but we also shouldn't die. And then as long as we're coming back on our next Teemo hits, taking him up to about 600 Puffcaps, that'll be more than enough to end the game. So just don't die next turn, right? Very fun and interactive strategy here. Just a big damage race. All right, here comes some stuff. Not really worried about it, only falling to 9. Got a poison dart for your dome. What you got, Conchologist? Nothing too good. I guess ambush give us a little bit of a zinger here. A little bit of way to make Teemo hit for extra damage. Comes in for 6. You gonna play any of these spells? Yeah, I don't think so. Scarmother Virna, Queen irrelevant at the moment. And then it looks like Teemo's ready to finish. GG. Nice try, Tryndamere. We got into a lot of combats that round. Many combats were fought. Basically, Teemo to the face, the only combat that mattered. Good job. GG. Alright, so for our champion one, again, with the champion ones, we always want to find that thing to where Teemo starts in your opener. Didn't find it here. You can pick up the draw card with Teemo. That's quite strong, but I'm just going to go with the pure damage race and the special delivery. Let us get those additional Puffcaps in right away. All right, on to the powers. Anything useful? Not the strongest ones. Chrono Breaks give us rallies, which is a fantastic way to get the additional Teemo damage in. So it's a little worrisome to add 3 cards to your deck when it's so important to draw Teemo, but I think this is reasonable. I guess I could see an argument to pick up Sting Officer instead. It doesn't add any more cards to our deck. Maybe that's the way to go. Just so important to pick up Teemo's. Or draw Teemo. So here, either a gold chest up top or item chest down the bottom. Let's head towards the item chest. I mean, I guess we do just like... I'm so conditioned to just skip every gold chest because they don't do anything. But maybe that's the way to go, so we just don't add cards into our deck. That's not a way that I've ever stopped to think about it. But now that I do, that's potentially a good way to do this. But nonetheless, at round start, all players start with a mana gem, and then the foe's units have regeneration. All players start with a mana gem. That's worded so weird. I think, did we get an extra one? Do we get one? Only one gem? Find out. But here, we got Teemo. Sounds good. Hang on to the Conchologist, look for the cheap plays. You know the strategy. Look at all these friendly units. Alright, so I'll start with the Conchologist. He's the able to block and trade with the Omen Hawk. And then we can follow up with Teemo. Didn't hit any puff caps this turn. A little sad. Alright, well done, Sting Officer. You got your kill. You got your unit removal. Alright, everybody getting all the dudes on board now. So let's do this. Let's chump wump. This is going to let us get 2 flipped Teemo hits in this round, right? We can drop the double Mushroom Cloud. Boop and a boop. We can follow up with another Teemo. Let's just go hard as well. Get this out of our hand. That mana has been spent now. Now we're free to add Teemo in. Never know what hit him. About to get hit with the puff caps. How many you think we got him up to? Like 120? Is that about right? 88? That's close. Y'all ever get your DeLorean up to 88 miles an hour? You can start to time travel after that. I bet some of you youngsters out there like, the F is old Bust going on about? DeLoreans at 88 miles an hour? God, you poor children. I feel so bad. So bad if you don't understand those sweet references. Go out there and watch yourself a nice Back to the Future. Alright, we're making the magic happen here. Opponent's just not doing anything. I don't care about any of this stuff he has on board. Can add Teemo now, gain 3 mana, go into the next turn. Be good to go. He shouldn't be able to survive this next set of puff caps. Okay, so Conchologist, maybe we'll find a combat trick. I guess Morning Light is technically a combat trick, but go with the Quietus. The Quietus Frostbite thing is a pretty nice combo, but you know, I'm just trying to load up these puff caps on the Peddler, make sure we can get out of this game on this set of attacks. Fangs makes his premiere debut. Welcome aboard. Poison Dart to the face place. On with the Teemo. What do we got? We'll get him up to about 400. That should be enough to do it. And then this one at max health as well. Good stuff. All right, 468 and 30 cards. What you gonna do, game? How many we gonna hit? 11? Ah, what a joke. What a joke. All right. I guess we'll go to the next turn. Make sure you sound real sad when you say stuff like that. I guess. Okay. No more shenanigans. This one's over with. All right, 32 makes up for it. All right, next battle. So what do we see? Go hard with +1 damage? Sure. I mean, I think the realistic take here is this Solari Shield Breaker with the capture the strongest enemy, but I'm on board with this go hard kind of sub plan. Maybe we can pick up an item for it and just be really popping off with it. Free Puffcap Pups are okay. Into the shop. What's the power? Stabilize when you summon a champion, get a copy? Absolutely. This one's done. Let's be real. We're good to go with this one. These cards in the shop though I don't think we want. Ritual, nah. We're good with our heal. Star Springs, these are all pretty garbagey. I guess the Hextech Observatory with the -1 attack isn't terrible, but I'm going to let that one go. And so, we either have a spells chest or an epic item chest. Let's head towards the epic item. Do battle with the Yetis. And so, when the foe's Yeti dies, create an enraged Yeti in the top 3. And then you grant Yetis everywhere +1/+1, cost 1 less. You all remember when we did battle against Tryndamere and just didn't fight any of the units? Welcome to the Yetis battle. Welcome. I think we got a kitty here too. Let's see if he wants to hang out. He's the one that runs back and forth and never actually jumps on me, but then if I try to pick him up, he also runs away. Let's see if we can get him. National Cat Day. National Cat Day. Here he is. Says, what up, internet? Whoa, I'm scared. But all right, we picked up our Teemo as the very last card. Beautiful, beautiful. We should be set now. Oh, I got confused when the ephemeral one came down. Oh, wow, that just returned to our hand as well. Excellent. Go ahead and start dropping the mushroom clouds on the dome. So the thing with this Teemo, once you have the ephemeral copy, you kind of want to wait until your second attack before you attack with it, just to get maximum puff caps into the deck before the ephemeral unit is gone. And so we could have, used the ephemeral unit to get this flipped, this hit that brings the flip, or we can attack now with it being flipped, get double the puff caps. I want the double. Well, we're going to be attacking here. His ability only works when you kill Yetis, right? So killing off this dumb unit doesn't do anything. When the foe's Yeti dies, create an enraged. Okay. Yetis everywhere. Okay, so yeah, it only matters with the Yetis. I mean, I guess we could just outright kill this thing first. Let the Puffcap Pup come in for actual damage. Sure. Why not? Why not? So we got our Puffcap Pup to the left of Teemo, getting the flipped hits in with the ephemeral one. We should be pretty well set at this point, right? Getting the big booms in. You're not going to get a lethal on this next attack, or this next turn, but 2 attacks from now with 3 flipped hits in, you should have 300, 600, over 1,000 puff caps. Over 1,000. Those are big numbers, dude. Big numbers. We aren't putting up rookie numbers with our with our Teemos today.
Hello there. So close.
All right, Teemo on board. Get that mana, get the extra copy. Start dropping darts. Sounds good. Sounds good. we got a spell mana. Gonna go ahead and spend it. Let's drop a Teemo on the board. Now we can add the Chumpwump. Drop 3 Mushroom Clouds out of hand. And I think it's pretty safe to say the Yetis have been bested. Alright, you can have your Shatter. No worries from me, bro. Alright, here comes the squad. So yeah, we're at 330. Be, you know, under 1,500. that's a fair way to put the number of puff caps that'll be in the opposing deck. Over 1,000, under 15. You got 1376 in there. See ya. Good stuff. Give this kitty some scratches before we head on to the Thresh battle. Alright, so anything cool? Not really. The Sky's Descend only costing 12 is pretty manageable, am I right? We're stuck with the Sump Fumes. Okay. Been stuck with worse. Into the item chest. Summon followers everywhere. Oh my gosh, I don't really want any of these. Let's just load up the Puffcap Pup. He's our best unit, and this technically, it's not going infinite, but you can get a complete board of Puffcap Pups, right? You play it, you get your mana back, then you get the fleeting copy in hand, then I think you get to keep going the whole way. The new one should generate another fleeting copy. I've been wrong before, but I think that's how it works. Cut the expensive card out of our deck, and then on to Thresh. And so, the foe summons the Vaults of Helia. When Thresh levels up, the foe creates 3 Shadow Isles champions in deck. Alright, we look at the hand. Very hard hand, very hard. Lots of go to it, but no Teemos. So we'll cycle that one away. Look for our Yordle friend. He does not turn up. Uh-oh. No Teemos. That's not good. Let's just attack first. I'm not sure how the opponent handles this, so what they look to play this turn. It is quite strong going against the Vaults of Helia deck, if you can keep all their units off of the board. Clearly can't do it with this board, but if they don't have anything to sacrifice to the Vaults and then don't get the bonuses out of it, great chance to get an advantage. Most expensive. Okay, I had to. It's been a long time since I've seen the Vaults. This is the only place you ever see it. I had to make sure it didn't say strongest. Strongest would be kind of interesting in terms of our frostbites. Okay, but we can kill some of this stuff. Still need to find our friend Teemo. Phantom Prankster comes online. All right. You're so meaty, Chumpwump. You have so many stats today. He blocks with Thresh. Much danger there, my friend. Okay. Well, he's a ways away from flipping his Thresh. That's the only thing that gets particularly scary with him. You just neglect to neglect to attack when you don't have any power. He's got another Thresh in hand, but it's a interesting decision that was made there. Interesting decision. Android, not a bad hit. We have lots of generated cards in our deck, so we can maybe get some bonus damage in with him. Still no Teemos. Do we just want to send all the damage that we can at Thresh? Is that worthwhile? I think I'm on board with it. We're going to get to summon a bunch of units off of this as well. So we'll have at least some defenses down. Hydrovines are scary. Where are you at, Teemo? I'm starting to get scared.
Strike now. You'll find you a formidable foe.
Alright, we'll get him for 2. What are we at? We got 33 puff caps in there? The number of puff caps are real if we could ever find our if we could ever find our card. Rasa makes the appearance. Pack your bags, bro. Interesting box. I wonder what's in his hand, if we can bait him into playing a little bit more units on the board before we pack the bags. Guess we can take Hush. It's not super strong, but if we run into a problem with fearsomes, it'll give us something to do.
I've always been a fun guy.
Yeah, dude, KDA noises. Here comes, who's that? Was that wasn't Ari, that was, who is that?
One life in exchange for another.
It's the elusive one, right? Is that really Evelyn? Or is that just the song on here? I didn't think it was Evelyn. I guess. Look at this one. Huh. I don't know, man. Get back to the game, I guess. But I thought that was... I can't remember her name. Alright, but plenty of good stuff going on now. Guess we can drop the Fangs. Moonsilver in. We're gonna just start flash freezing the Rasa. I think this game should just pretty much be done. But let's see. It doesn't... I wonder if the deck has Commander Ladros in it. I thought that if it killed a unit and there wasn't one stronger or one more expensive, then it just killed the unit. So I wonder if it goes up to Ladros. If it does, it'll make me feel a lot better about picking up this Hush. And you can hush away the last breath and he doesn't go back to hand. Finally, Teemo turns up, though.
Would a mushroom help?
Just go ahead and get this going. Well, we don't need to use the peddler. We can deal the 3 damage with the conchologist. Okay. We'll go hard. We'll go hard. Play Teemo, get some mana, and then next turn, I mean, it looks like we're about to drop Aurelian Soul. I didn't really think that was on the menu today, but you know, I guess that's what it's about. Playing some cards on stuff it doesn't particularly matter, I don't feel. I don't want to play Vile Feast, though. We're gonna get a bunch of Teemos, then a bunch of Aurelian Souls. We actually want to kill off some of our units. The struggles, right? The first world problems that we're experiencing right now. Got 72 puff caps in deck. All right.
Reporting in.
Let's do this. We can do it this way, right? We can put Teemo on the board. We can just go ahead and attack with the Ephemeral, let it fall off, and then add an Aurelian Soul, so we get the big excitement factor here of the double dragons on board. I wonder, does the Ephemerals die before Aurelian Soul flips? I'm not sure how that interaction works. Right, we get the double Aurelian Souls on board. And then if... was this just going to make infinite ones? I saw another one just, like, fall off at the end. I don't think that's how it works. Alright, anyways. Let's find out. We'll attack with the big one. Well, he has to block him, so if he blocks him, he's going to Fury, and then we'll be at exactly 20 out of 20. I guess we can check on the round end stuff with Teemo. Is this one of those spots where the attack order actually matters? So the Aurelian Soul is to the left of our Teemo before he rounds ends back to our hand? Maybe. Maybe. Interesting. All right. Well, we're pretty good. We're just waiting, you know. if the puff caps aren't enough here, then we'll be good for the next round anyways. And there we got him. GG. And so yeah, not a bad set of battles. Much easier than the Kai'Sa round if you saw that from the round before. Just not as much tall units, which Teemo really suffers against. But again, as far as our strategy goes, we like to go with the Gale Force. We go with the Lost Chapters, so you can cycle through all that mana, and then you can see how incredibly important Teemo is in these rounds. And so we like to just cheat, in air quotes there at the beginning, retire a run, get into the ones to where we get the +2 card draw, since that is our best chance of drawing Teemo every single game. And so, not a bad set of battles. I had fun with that. I hope you had fun too, because that is going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bustin. We thank you for being here.